FX Open was looking like they were in trouble. They called upon Lean Octopus, and he delivered.
Leanok is the player for Team FX Open in the booth right now, and we have the choice for Azubu. It is actually going to be Vines. Symbol and Supernova are not in the studio today. They're apparently already on their way to DreamHack Bucharest, so therefore the two star players of the team are not able to compete, and that gives FX Open definitely a bit of a lead, but the B team, if you also want to say, from Azubu so far doing a decent job.
Yeah. Really an unfortunate circumstance for them, but Vines, what can he do here? He's really good at timings. Yonsu, a good map for that. And Leanok needs to have his guard up a little bit up against Vines. Vines is a player who used to be on OGS a long time ago, notorious for cannon rushing, 4-gating, 6-gating, 7-gate, Blink Stalker +2. Like, he's going to get you if you're not careful.
You know, given that actually Leanok is struggling a little bit against Terran here in Heart of the Swarm, I would have expected Senna to be the next player for them, but they chose another Protoss. He's going to be the second Protoss player, and this is actually Leanok's best matchup in Heart of the Swarm. He has a 59% win ratio here, and let's see what Vines can do against him.
He looks great against Patience too. It looks like he's in the zone right now.
It's just the multitasking and the experience that he has with all these multi-prong attacks, setting up flanks and dominating the map. That is something that gives him an edge over a lot of opponents. And Vines, I mean, what did he come up with? We're going now into the game in just a few seconds, and we're going to find out if Leanok is able to just tie up the score. Shoya would probably be really thankful for that. If Leanok goes down, then it's probably all going to hinge on Hurricane, who we expect to be the last player for Team FX Open. But we are going into match number 4 of the day here at the GSTL Season 2 2013. Leanok versus Vines, FX Open versus Team Azubu, brought to you with Colored Wolf.
Bringing you that fuel source fresh from the core. Right mind, fitting strong, you like iodine. With blueprint, these fuse bolts that my mind designed.
Starting to the top right of the map, we currently see the Protoss player for Team Azubu. It's not Patience anymore. We have a new star in the game. It is
Azubu Vines.
No recorded games for him offline in Heart of the Swarm against Zerg just yet, but he is the one that his team called upon to defeat the first player of Team FX Open that was able to win a game today. Starting to the bottom left, we have in red
FXO Leanok.
Yet again, he is up against a Gateway Expand.
Really strong matchup for Leanok here, and currently we do not have Supernova and Symbol in the studio. As mentioned before, they are on their way to DreamHack Bucharest, so they cannot actually perform for their team. And we would have expected maybe, or I would have expected Senta maybe to come out, since Leanok is struggling a lot more against Terran than he does against Protoss. But this also offers the chance for Vines and the other players on the team to just show what they are made of. And you know when you are going up against FX Open, then at some point Leanok will enter the stage. So this could very well be a sniper. Vines just studied Leanok's play and said like, okay, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the one who faces Leanok if he comes out, and I'm going to snipe him.
Yeah, Yunsu a good map for sniping. Leanok going for a safer pool first build though against Vines. Vines is so well known for cannoning. In StarCraft 2, and I mean, rather in Heart of the Storm and in Wings of Liberty, he would cannon you. He would do, back in the days, the 2-pylon at the ramp and cannon. He was just a cannon guy. So, got to be safe against that.
I feel for the Azubu players, this is a great chance, at least for the players who are usually not the ones that get to play in the GSTL. The coach is making an effort to always show us all of his players and to make sure that everybody gets his chance. But if you are one of the, I don't want to say lesser known, but like one of the weaker players compared to stars like Symbol and Supernova, who are frequently in the Premier League, then this is the chance that you have. So I would have expected all of them to really prepare for their matches, and that's why I expect a lot from Vines in this game. And Leanok, he has to know, of course, as well, that he is most likely up against someone who is going for a lot of, for a very designed build.
Yeah. Pro gonna tap these rocks for a second before making the Nexus. 4 Lings here, going to be annoying.
And he doesn't have a single gateway unit, Wolf. He has nothing.
Yeah, he canceled the Zealot.
Yeah.
And actually, his Mothership Core needs to float over there. He's taking his sweet time. Now he goes over there.
Well, this is gonna get... Yeah,
It's
fine.
He can't force it down, but he damages it a little bit.
Yeah. takes down a few of the shields. But yeah, cancels the Zealot here as well, so risking quite a lot.
Yeah, and no scout either. He has no idea what Leenock is up to. Of course, now he knows the timings of the pool. But he doesn't know the gas is being mined. He doesn't know if Leenock's going to go into a fast third, which is, you know, very unlikely after scouting a gateway expand. But he still has no idea, so keep that in mind as well. He's going to add some gates here, maybe even a forge, 1 gate, 1 forge at the wall. And goes for the double gate first. So that lends itself to more aggression rather than trying to get the upgrades out and play for a third base.
We have the Stargate following up immediately, so he's going for a bit of Stargate aggression early on. And Leenock has some scouting information, of course, with that expansion, but the links besides that have not been too useful just yet. He can keep control of the Xel'Naga watchtowers, but for Leenock it's important to just set everything up so that he's ready for whatever comes his way. He doesn't know about the tech choice of opponent, and he only has 1 Overlord in the vicinity to the top left. There's not another one that could go into the main base, so that's a position where Vines will be completely safe. There will be no scout.
And there's no way you can see that. And with Vines, if he made a Void Ray right now, it would not shock me. It would shock me with anybody else, but with Vines, with all the pylons he's built too, those Phoenixes though, and Leenock is playing so safe. He's making a spine crawler at home right now. He knows that he doesn't know what is coming, and so that alone against Vines tells you probably need to make 2 spine crawlers, and my speed's coming out soon. I'll take my third base a little bit later once I'm sure I can. I'm not going to take any risks here.
And at this point, Leenock, I mean, it makes a lot of sense that he's playing this safe, especially given the position they are in. And Choya is probably going to appreciate this a lot. But here comes once again the macro hatch in the main base, and this is one of the moves that we see from Leenock so often, more than from any other Zerg out there. And it paid off like thousands of times already, where he was in a position where he really needed that additional lava, and it worked for him really well. Going straight into the lair tech now, and also of course the roach run, so they can fend off gateway aggression if there is going to be.
And that third base for Leenock will be under attack by quite a few Zealots once it does get made. And he has not spotted the Zealots. Leenock, very good at scouting, but in the past 2 games just has not been able to find or identify those pylons. At that pylon to the south, there are in fact right now 8 Zealots ready to go and do some damage. 4 Spore Crawlers going out for Leenock, not taking any chances with that. He also has extra queens, of course, with the extra hatches. He's got 4 queens in total. So Phoenix is not going to do any damage to him directly, it doesn't look like here. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that is starting to look a little bit iffy. He needs that force field here. And there it is. But the Zerglings are in.
And they get in the main? Oh, wow. This is terrible for Vines.
Yeah, that's really annoying now. They will go down, but he gets all the scouting information in the world. Might be able to snipe a probe or 2.
Yeah, and the Phoenixes here so far not able to accomplish anything. Even the Overlords pulled back here, most of them. He's not really doing anything with the Phoenixes. They're just sitting there. You know, if he had a Void Ray here, this would be a different story, but...
Yeah, Sin pretty into the top right. The Lings are now gone. None left. So he was only scouting. I don't think he killed any probes with those Zerglings. He was watching them on the map and they just raced around the base. We have the Phoenixes now trying to dart in and maybe find an Overlord or 2 or do something here. Third base for Leenock is of course something that Vines would love to take out.
He's going to kill it. He's got so many Zealots, and there are only Lings on the way. Now he starts Roaches finally, but this hatch is not going to make it. There's no way, and if he tries to send his Lings, he's going to wish he hadn't with that much firepower on the Zealots.
A late third is really a problem for a Zerg player. Like, you can get a later third, that's not the issue, but the third being delayed this much, this can definitely be a big issue for you. And we have Vines now with the aggression moving in, and Leenock's counterattack is not going to work. There is a Zealot in the whole position, but what we don't have is a cannon, so he can only use what he has up there to defend, and he doesn't have a whole lot.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot. He will break through. He's going to have to use a force field, and oh my god, that was...
Wow, that was a clutch Wobbin.
He needs to put it back.
Not again.
What is he doing?
He's not pressing the whole position button. Mana, is it you?
Well, anyways, this is looking scary for Leenock because he's going Hydralisk, but the Robotics Bay is almost done. A few Void Rays coming out. A canceled Spine Crawler smartly done by Leenock, realizing that he's not really under a direct attack here. He doesn't have Burrow. He can't deny the third base. Doesn't have any Overlords, so Vines can easily take a third and hold the Hydralisk pressure. It's all going to be about his micro against the Hydras. That may even be the deciding factor in this game.
Leenock still has no third base. That is horrible for him. A Zerg at 11 minutes into the game, 2 base versus Protoss is a problem, and the Protoss player getting the third faster than the Zerg, that is a big issue. So Leenock has to be super careful here. Vines is in a great spot.
Yeah, he's about to have a wall set up at his third. He's going to have the first Colossus. He has already 2 Void Rays. We'll have a third one. And Leenock is in a lot of trouble. I mean, he needs to make an attack work, but it's almost too late for that. He may even want to try to double expand right now, use his Hydralisk map control, get more creep spread out there, continue his upgrades, and try to go for Vipers, because attacking this third base, I don't think it's going to work. There's already the first Colossus.
Double check if Leenock has range for the Hydras.
He does,
right?
No
Okay.
speed though.
So the Hydras are now in the same range as the Colossi until the extended thermal lance upgrade is completed. But we have the first Colossi already out. The second one I think is on the way too.
Yes.
So if he gets those Colossi close to the Hydralisks, and this is already, he already moves back, and here come the Phoenixes lifting them off. Hydralisks are of course light armored. All of them are going down, and Vines is crushing this army of Leenock. It could not be worse for him.
Yeah, he gets the Void Ray, but
that's all he
that's
gets.
about it. And the rest of the Void Rays could charge up. They don't even use their ability. He doesn't even have to. Could have, probably should have. But Leenock is getting crushed here. He's trying to go into the Spire. With all the Void Rays on the map, Corruptors are not going to be very good. And double
Oh my
Stargate
God.
follow-up because he's afraid of Phoenixes. I mean, Mutalisks, that is.
You know, he can just go for Void Rays here as
can
well.
too.
Void Ray Colossi, he has triple Stargate in a few seconds, so this is a great position for Vines to be in. The third base for Leenock is now up as well, but it's 3 base versus 3 base. The Harvester count is in favor of the Protoss player at this point.
And a few Roaches being targeted down here by the Phoenixes. I guess at this point, why not? You know, pick off the weakened ones here, grab a few free kills, and he starts Phoenixes for safety. And like you said, he can switch into Void Rays whenever he wants because he has the 3 base economy. He has 6 gas. He's had them for a while. And I like his position a lot. Leenock needs a miracle right now. He really does.
Vines' position is amazing. And, well, we'll see what exactly he's going to do. He's going into a massive amount of Phoenixes right now, together with Colossi. It's definitely going to help. He can do whatever he wants with the economy that he has. He has more army supply. He has more worker supply. He's still going in with the Phoenixes, trying to make something happen here, annoy his opponent, snipe a drone or two, go for a stray Overlord if he finds one.
It's so hard for Leenock to know what he's doing too because he can't scout with Overlords because there's too many Phoenixes on the map. He wants to get an Overseer in there, but it's a commitment to gas to try to make one. It looks like Leenock is going Mutas. He's banking the gas, and that's going to be the wrong choice against this many Phoenixes. He has already 10 Phoenixes. He's making 2 more now. He'll have 12.
With the upgrades that he has, I'm not quite sure if he's really going Mutas.
11 Corruptors instead.
Yeah, Mutalisks would have been a little bit odd. I mean, he can do it, but it's a really huge gamble. So at this point, we're having the Corruptors being built. With the Corruptors alone, he can do a lot, but, well, we know how Corruptors fare against Void Rays, and a switch with 3 Stargates into Void Rays is easily accomplished if you have 3 bases in the economy.
And Leenock cannot hide the Corruptors, really. He's going to have to start using them to help deal with these Phoenixes. Which is part of the reason why he made them in the first place. Of course, to help with the Colossi, and more importantly, too. Twilight Council is done, which means we'll soon have Blink and +2 on the field. Could even go for Charge, as he does here, to go for Zealot run-bys.
One advantage that Leenock has are the upgrades. He's on +2 attack for his ground army already, whereas we only have the +1 finishing now for Vines. But this is a very small advantage that he has at this point. Of course, Vines knows too that with 4 bases in the game, Leenock is starting to come back and really just set up this position. So what Vines is going to do here is try to just utilize this army to take down the bottom left. He's moving in only with the ground, which means that he is aiming for a recall, maybe. Not using, at least not using the, if he does not use his Phoenixes, he will just go in, try to do damage and then recall, but he needs to make sure that his Mothership Core isn't sniped, because if that goes down...
Yeah,
Okay.
the Corruptors are going to cause problems here if that happens.
He's moving in with the rest of his army now too, so he's not splitting it as it originally looked like.
Now he sees the Corruptors. He's going to want to switch to Void Rays right away, and I think he should recall here.
Yeah, he should.
And he does not.
He can't, it's sniped.
Yeah, it's sniped here.
It's already gone. Does he have the anti-air? Here come those Void Rays. He needs to take on the Void Rays. Of course, he wants to get rid of the Colossi as well, but the Void Rays are demolishing the anti-air.
Yeah, those Phoenixes now can finish the job, and the Hydras here picked up as well. But, you know, Leenock has a lot of damage output still. The Zealots are not going to be too useful. and he keeps the Corruptors alive for now.
Yeah, and the Corruptors are moving in right now, and against the Void Rays, that's not going to help. Leenock is dropping here in supply. He's rebuilding immediately, using a few of his units to run to the top, but Bob in already made sure that Vines is not going to lose too much just yet. That gives him the time to retreat with those, with the Phoenixes and just utilize them once again to deal with those roaches.
Yeah, and the Void Rays coming out here, the great switch here by Vines, and even though he's down in supply, I like his position a lot more. He's continuing to build Colossi here. The problem, all those Corruptors lost, is going to make it so hard to deal with the future Colossi, plus the Void Rays. This is a composition that's so hard to stop as a Zerg player. The only thing that's missing for Vines, arguably, here is the Templar Archives and the 4th base. He really could and should take a 4th right now.
Yeah, the 4th is really working for Leenock now, and Vines wants not only to just trade armies, he wants to go in and do damage to the economy. That's kind of what he has to do. It would be great for him to just build one Observer as well to get a bit of a hold of this creep spread. With the army that he has, especially with what he's moving across the map and onto the creep, he could easily take them out. He's getting his 4th now as well, and just getting more and more Void Rays into the picture. But Leenock is starting a switch, and it looks like one Infestor. Is that going to be an accident, or does he want to go for the Fungals now against the Void Ray numbers?
Yeah, he doesn't have the Hazarding Glands upgrade just yet. One Colossus a little bit out of position, but there's way too many Void Rays here. And here come the Phoenixes from the back to start lifting the Hydras, and the Colossus doing work, and absolutely not. No way, no chance, no how. Leenock looks like he may lose this game here. He's losing his entire army, and the counterattack is going to be brutal.
Vines is moving in with everything that he has. He lifts all of the Hydra list. The Hydras can't snipe the Void Rays anymore. The Void Rays take down all of the Corruptors. They immediately annihilate the Roaches, and the Hydra list themselves, they don't stand a chance anymore. The army is gone within seconds, and now Vines is just going for the snowball. He's moving to the bottom left. He wants this space. He takes it down. He doesn't care about those Spore Crawlers. He's focusing them one by one, and now the ground army is lending support. This base is a goner.
And Leenock may be a goner with it. Few Hydras here desperately trying to hold things off. That one lone James Bond Infestor is... he's definitely not a double O agent right now. The hatchery is gone. He may lose some Void Rays in the process, but the Phoenix is here to help out, and I think he can just turn around and fight now, and that's exactly what he does.
He's just lifting everything that he can, and yes, he's taking severe losses, but at the same time, he killed that base, which was important. It's 4 bases against 3 in favor of Vines at this point. The Queens are going down as well, but we have a lot of Hydralisks moving in at the same time, and they will be able to force Vines back. And the supply is still very much the same, but the income is gonna skyrocket for Vines once he saturates his base completely.
Yeah, he's just dropped off some units over there, getting an Archon here to try to help hold things off. He's got Templar Archives to sink his gas into now. He just has such an insane income right now. There's the second Archon, and Leenock, this Hydra force here, not gonna last very long. He has 9 Phoenixes too. He could even just chase and kill as the Phoenixes. Looks like that's what he's going to aim for here.
All that Vines has to do is to stabilize here, and that should not be a problem. He's chasing down the Hydralisks one by one. They are way too slow off creep here. They're trying to escape, but the Phoenixes are just too fast. At the third, we have a few units of Leenock still trying to harass, but at this point, Vines knows that if he doesn't make a huge mistake here, he has won the game. He's placing down cannons to make sure that even burrowed units are not going to be an issue. And with the composition that we see here, Colossi, Archons, Phoenixes, Void Rays.
Up the ramp too, it's just not likely to work. There's way too many Archons here. He needs a Colossus to support. There it is, and he should be able to fight this now and chase Leenock away. Even breaking down the ramp against the Hydras, not an issue. Way too much firepower in this army, way too much bonus damage to Bio. And that's going to be all she wrote, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not over until the fat lady sings, but at this point, it doesn't look like Leenock has a chance to come back in this game. He's trying, though. He's trying to set up this 4th base again, and maybe getting an army that is strong enough to deal with what Vines has on the map, but he knows that in the income he's far behind. You can really see it already. 1,000 minerals per minute that we have for Leenock against 1,004 to 500 for his opponent, and the army that is on the board is already stronger for the Protoss player.
I mean, just looking at the production tab, 3 Void Rays at a time versus 3 Roaches at a time, that tells the tale pretty specifically.
Another problem that Leenock discovered now is that he did not research the speed upgrade for the Hydralisk previously. He's just now getting it.
Yeah.
That would have helped him a little bit to dance and to just approach and disengage a little bit faster. But he didn't have the chance to do that. Now he's losing the rest of his army, and these are just desperate moves by Leenock. 25 minutes into the game, he is 30 overall supply behind the Protoss player, and he's just now equalized the number of bases, and that's never a good feeling.
trying to do something cute with this Hydras here. Not going to be done. Only a few Phoenixes left, but the ground army is superior here vastly for Vines. He goes to finish off these Hydras, who still yet do not have the speed upgrade, and they're going to be gunned down here by the next Zealot charge. Here it comes. Archon's closing the gap as well, and that is the end of Leenock's army yet again. He sends another force to the top left. He still has a few roaches burrowed there as well. I mean, that's a small force of 5 roaches that's going to accomplish very little.
Vines plays this very smart. He took down the 4th base, and he knew exactly that all that he has to do is play that safe, is trying to stay at home and defend. Of course, he gives a little bit of map control to Leenock, who's currently the one who is just moving in all the time and distracting Vines a little bit. But Vines knows that as long as he just keeps his forces together and then attacks with one big attack, he can end the game. If he is overcommitting, that would be a mistake, but as you can see, he waited a long time. He has a massive army now on the board, and that's the time when he moves out with the additional attack, with the additional Colossi, with the Archons, and now he's moving in, using the last few Phoenixes to lift Infestors, and Leenock has a great position to fight here, but I don't think that this is going to be enough to win him the game.
I don't think so either. The Fungals are decent. He kills one more Void Ray, but the Infestors now caught in a corner. Get one more Fungal on the Archons, and the Colossi, they just need to target the Roaches. That's all he has to do. A flank here by Leenock. And you know what? He's actually turning this fight around a little bit better than I thought he would. The Colossi, on the other hand, should be taken out here.
That was actually a unit control mistake by Vines. He had a lot of those Colossi, 2 of them in fact, attacking an Extractor instead of the units.
Yeah.
So now suddenly his army is gone. Leenock is still behind. He's 20 supply behind his opponent, but that was a mistake by Vines. I don't think that he really focused on this. We had more Zealots at the bottom right still taking down Harvesters, but he could have won that a decisive battle at the left side of the map if he microed his Colossi correctly.
How many Archons Vines can make right now is a very scary thought, considering he has nearly 3,000 gas. A few drones picked off here. Clever move.
The income for Leenock is down to 200 at this point in minerals, and, well, Vines has 1,000 minerals per minute. What I love about Leenock's play is really, first of all, that he doesn't give up, that he always tries to find a position where he can attack, because he still has a small chance. We just saw it. If Vines makes mistakes, Leenock can just try to exploit them. But I love that he is sending those small task forces over to the 4th and to the 3rd base of his opponent, because they really did a lot in this game so far, and the Burrow upgrade is helping him so much with him.
Yeah, the Burrow upgrade is almost putting him back into the game. If he could just get a few more good shots. Left side of the map, again, he's going to kill probes, then he's going to burrow. And this is begging the question, where are the cannons? 1 or 2 cannons to each of these bases would have shut this down flat. I mean, he's losing a lot of probes here. Leenock has equalized the probe supply a little bit, 46 to 34 now. He's also trading against very important minerals of these Zealots that are coming in. You know, a few Zealot Warpins actually start to make you wonder, where are the minerals dumping into cans? There they go. You can see here the Void Ray going to help finish this off. No Colossus kill for you, Leenock.
Yeah, Leenock is starting to get his income up again though, but he is falling farther and farther behind in the army supply. We have now 83 against 50 army supply at this point in time. The Infestors, of course, can get great value for the energy that they use there, but it's all about the engagement, and we have a massive amount of Archons by now. All the resources that we had earlier, Vines started to dump them into units, but he can't use counterattacks again, and that's something where Vines has to set up his defense to make sure that they don't do damage to the economy.
Yeah. Picks off a pylon, and 1 roach here should burrow. He's microing it. Does burrow it. In fact, there's an observer. And Leenock is just... Time works against him, whether it's because he's rebuilding his economy while the army of his opponent gets built, or because, you know, he builds army while his opponent's economy is stronger. Archon is sniped here. That's really nice to see.
What kind of blows me away, to be quite frank with you, is that we don't see any upgrades for Vines anymore. He has a great income, but he never really got upgrades out. He is currently, I think, on +1 attack, and that's it. So
no armor.
I don't think that there's any excuse for that, given how much income he had over the course of this game. If his army would now... He could be well be on his way to get 3-3, if not already having 3-3, given how far ahead in the game he was and how good his income was. So if he had those upgrades, think about how the last fights would have ended. Leenock is the one who is on 1 armor and 2 attack, so I think that is a really huge mistake, and I think it's only because Vines doesn't realize it, because he's so caught up in the moment.
Exactly, that's so true, and there are, by the way, 11 Infestors, all of them nearly at full energy here. Storm finally being researched now, but the Infestors could change the tide of battle here, especially with the Zealots caught behind. Needs to get those Infestors over. He's going for a counterattack. Leenock is really trying to make this work. This game is not over yet, like you said, until the Fat Lady sings. Leenock down 60 supply, but this run by the top left could be devastating. There's not enough units here. There's not any units here at all, quite frankly.
He needs the warp-ins. At the same time, the base at the bottom right is being completely overrun. Storm is on his way too. He's trying to just break through here. He's going for the YOLO move. He's taking down bases. We have another set of units. The Colossus at the front. He has no business in this position.
He
like,
needs
not
Archons.
at all.
And he gets the Archons here, but they're a bit late. Leenock needs to save those Infestors. They are his saving grace here. He's trying to spine up his final base. He's going to try to use those Infestors. This army is crushed, though.
The Roaches are not going to be able to make this happen. And only 80 supply left for Leenock. He's down to 46 army supply. 120 for Vines. It looks like it's finally going to be game. The Protoss player with a lot of small mistakes in the game, a lot of missed opportunities, but overall still with a great performance.
Yep. And now he controls the top of the ramp. He's in Leenock's main. The Infestors are going to try to maybe lock these units inside of the main base, but even so, he's losing all of his tech. He's supply blocked at 69 over 4.
That Archon. Oh, he died. Okay, he got fungal and died. It looked for a sec like he was really able to run away. That was the Forrest Gump Archon.
This is the end. The Fungals are decent, but the Infestors are dropping, and Vines looks like he's done a lot of Infested Terrans.
That's not enough.
But not enough, especially with the good Colossus micro that we see here. GG.
GG. And Azubu is in the lead with 3-1. They don't have Symbol today. They don't have Supernova, but they are making it work.
The B team is bringing the A game, that's for sure.
And the Zubu coach is probably telling Vines now, listen buddy, good job, well played, congratulations, but please start researching upgrades in the next game.
Yeah, he's like, you know you did that with just +1? He's like, +1 air weapons. He's like, no, +1, only +1 on your ground armor. He's like, I didn't get air upgrades. He's like, no, you didn't get any upgrades besides +1. It almost, with the lack of cannons and the no upgrades, it's like he forgot he had a Forge. It starts to seem that way. It's like he assumed his Forge was dead.
There was no reason to not get upgrades. Like, he had the resources, he had everything, he had the time. I feel it was for him just a thing where he was caught up in the moment because there was so much to do. Leenock occupied him the entire game, and it just slipped his mind. He was focusing more on getting his tech out and the gas-heavy units, but he had the chance. This game was in the end a little bit closer than it should have been. And Vines made a lot of mistakes, but in the end he played a great game and he was able to take down Leenock. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. And now the last man, the last player for Team FX Open has to win 3 games in a row.
Yeah. And who's it going to be? Is it going to be Hurricane here?
I think it has to be Hurricane.
He has to PvP Vines, which is always a stressful thing, but once he does that, you know, he's got 2 players left to face, and you can think reasonably that Supernova and Symbol are gone, and he might be able to do it. He might have that confidence.
Yeah. I really think it has to be Hurricane. He's the most successful player for the team these days. Gumiho is... I don't really want to say shadow of his former self, it's not that bad, but like if you think about what he accomplished in 2012, he's not there in the heart of the swarm. Hurricane is the player on FX Open who wins tournaments abroad, who performs really well within Korea too. I feel he has to be the one who comes out as the last player today.
Polar Knight is the map, and map not as important here in Protoss vs. Protoss if it's going to be Hurricane.
I don't think that the matchup in the first game really plays a role, because whoever comes out has to defeat 3 players. So you can't really just look at the game that you have to play now and say like, okay, who can defeat this one player? You have to really think, okay, who is strong enough to beat 3 in a row at this point? And I mean, for me, it's a choice between Gumiho and Hurricane, and I feel it has to be Hurricane.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, based on what Gumiho has shown us, it's unfortunate about the Protoss versus Protoss, but beyond that, he's definitely got the potential to take the other games. Vines is crazy, though. I mean, we've seen him play 2 games where he's very aggressive the entire game, and in Protoss vs. Protoss, I expect nothing different.
We have still like a couple of really good players on the bench for Azubu. Only naming 2, we would have, for example, Boom Boom came out in the past, not only in the last GSTL season, but already in this GSTL season, so he could be one of the players. I still would like to see Senna. He always showed a lot of promise and might be the one that the coach is relying upon if he needs a Terran player today. Yeah. So we haven't seen Nage just yet, so he's another one that could potentially play.
Sleep as well.
Sleep as well. So depending on who comes
out,
Exactly. If Gumiho, for example, comes out, then I would definitely be Sleep. But let's see. Who's it gonna be? Yeah, it has to be him. It's Hurricane.
Hurricane, formerly known as Tyr, and a shot of Vines here, who looks very different than he used to before.
It had to be him. There's no other choice in my opinion. Not right now.
And you can see this guy has quite a number of games played under his belt. He's also in the Challenger League currently.
Hurricane, a very strong opponent to face. Currently, I would say definitely the best player of his team, or the most successful one, at least that is, in the last few weeks. But can Vines take him out? This is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss. We already saw one today where Patience was facing C. That was the opening match for today's game. But you can see that at Choya, even though he has, of course, a lot of confidence in his player's ability, he's not too happy with the situation that his team is in.
Yeah, this is dire straits right now. But Hurricane has it in him. He can do this. He can make the plays. He can make the comeback. He just needs to stay focused. Hurricane never really been someone to have nerve issues, but we all know that he can't be sitting in the booth right now feeling happy as a lark, knowing that his team is in trouble here. And if he loses, his team falls to -7 indicator with 0-2 their first two matches this round for the first pennant race here.
Coach so far seems to be in a pretty decent mood, but for him, it's actually incredible. Think about what's going on here. The two best players of the team are missing, and they are currently up 2 games already against FX Open. If they win this today without Symbol, without Supernova, this would be amazing for them, and they are in an amazing position to do that. They currently have Vines out, who just proved himself against Leenock. Even if he loses here, you still have players like Boom Boom, you have Sleep, you have Senna, you have so many good players on this bench that can do it. Of course, it would be much more, like they would have probably a little bit more confidence if they had Symbol there as the last man standing, but still, one more to go, and the next opponent, the only opponent that they still have to face today is Hurricane. The map is Polar Knights, and we are going to jump into the game right away. It might be the last one of the day. We have a PvP. It is Hurricane up against Vines in our 5th game of the day here at the GSTL Season 2 2013. Azuba versus FX Open.
It's full force when I step to the fore, bringing you that fuel source fresh from the core. Right mind, fitting strong, you like iodine.